Today in Zoology C, communication to senses, we will discuss about sensory reception in invertebrates. That is to feel different things with the help of receptors. Sensory receptors consist of cells which can convert environmental information, that is stimulus, into nerve impulses, so messages can be transmitted to the body. A stimulus is any form of energy an animal can detect with the help of its receptors. Actually, Aristotle identified 5 human senses. These are sense of sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. These are called as 5 senses. But the animals also have some other senses to detect different type of things. For example, invertebrates possess sensory receptors. These sensory receptors give them information about their environment or surroundings. There are following common receptors like tactile receptors, they can sense touch. Georeceptors, they sense the pull of gravity. Hygroreceptors, they detect water content of the air, that is moisture. Proprioceptors, they respond to mechanically or physically induced change, like caused by stretching, compressing, bending, and some stress or tension. Then comes phonoreceptors. They are sensitive to sound. Baroreceptors, they respond to the pressure changes. Chemoreceptors, they respond to air and water-borne molecules and to chemicals. Photoreceptors, they sense the stimulus of light. Okay, now comes thermoregulation, that they can detect temperature changes. Most vertebrates possess thermoreceptors. There are also some receptors which are present in different kind of systems, like circulatory system. They detect changes in blood pressure and also detect the blood levels of carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions. There are also some receptors present in digestive system. They are involved in the perception of hunger and thirst. Mechanism of action of receptors, that how do they perform their action. All receptors are transducers. It means that they convert one form of energy into another. All nerve impulses have same nature, that is they have to transmit messages. Different type of receptors convert different kinds of stimulus into a local electrical potential, which is said to be generator potential. The generator potential reaches the threshold potential. It opens some channels in the plasma membrane and creates action potential. The nerve impulse then travels along the axon of the cell. Then it moves towards some contact points, synaptic junction. Now it has become information. It finally reaches the central nervous system, CNS, and brain. All action potentials are alike, similar. Furthermore, an action potential is all or none phenomena, that is, it occurs or it doesn't occur. There are 2 factors which differentiate between different sensations. Like each receptor is connected with specific site in the brain, area in brain. Therefore, a stimulus directly goes to this part of brain. Then brain can detect a stimulus from the wiring of neurons. For example, optic center interprets a stimulus as visual stimulus, which helps in vision. The second factor is intensity. The strength of stimulus is called its intensity. The number of action potential per unit of time also increases with the increase of strength of the stimulus. Brain can detect a stimulus from the timing of the impulse, from the time it is taking messages. Now there are some features of sensory receptors. They contain sensitive receptor cells or fine branched peripheral endings of sensory neurons. These cells respond to a stimulus and then they produce a generator potential. Their structure is so designed to receive a specific stimulus. The receptor cells synapse junction points with efferent nerve fibers. Their stimulus travels to the central nervous system through specific neural pathways. The nerve impulse is translated into specific sense in the central nervous system or specific areas in brain. Now there comes invertebrate sensory reception. There are different receptors present to detect different kind of stimulus. First one is baroreceptors. These are the receptors which detect changes in pressure and are said to be baroreceptors. Invertebrates don't have specific structures to detect pressure, but they show some response to change in pressure. These responses have been detected in some invertebrates like copepods, crustaceans, ctenophores, jellyfish, medusa, and squids. Some crustaceans coordinate the migratory activity with their daily tidal movement, and it shows this response due to some pressure changes with the water depth.